I've got a great video for you. A question I get all the time is, what's the best course strategy? What do I like to do for course strategy? And how, essentially what you're asking when you think of this is, how can I shoot the lowest score possible with my current game? And there's a couple things you can do to make it easy for you. Now, I don't want you to miss out this year. I have a ton of great videos coming for you, and the only way you're going to be notified when those get released is by clicking that subscribe button right below. So go ahead and punch that right now. Click the thumbs up, that really helps us out, and post your comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Number one, I always look at the layout of the hole. So depending on how far you hit the ball and how good you are with different clubs, this could change a little bit. So when I'm looking at this hole, it's probably only 220 to carry that water. Maybe not even that. So with my driver, I'm not even really seeing the water. It's not going to really come into play very much. But if that was a little bit closer to my maximum distance, I would be really focused more on playing away from the water. For me here, this hole goes to the left, and really the most dangerous spot is if I go a little bit too far left, I can get in those left trees and I don't really have a shot. It's a par 5, I have no chance of reaching in a 2. There's actually a little bit of out of bounds over there. So I definitely want to avoid that left side. So on this particular hole, I would be wanting to err more toward the right side of the fairway. If I block it a little bit to the right, I'm going to have farther into the green, but it's not going to kill me. So in a nutshell, what I want to take into account is not just what someone else says. If someone else says, oh, the play on this hole is a 3-wood, or the play on this hole is an iron, maybe it is for them, but it depends on how far you hit it and how good you are with different clubs. So don't pay attention to what other people are telling you. Think about what you do the best and play to your own strength. So here, in a nutshell, let's say I'm going to play it just like I would most players. If I'm swinging, say, average swing speed, I got to hit a pretty daggone good one to carry it 220 over that water. So if I'm most players, I'm going to err more toward the left side. It's a lot farther to get over the right side of the water than it is on the left side. So I'm going to play a ball that starts down the left edge of the rough, and I'm going to work it toward the middle of the fairway. So I'm playing, I know right, all this massive amount of water, I don't want to go over there. I'm going to play away from the water and then shape it back toward the middle of the hole. So for that shot, I would play a fade. And again, you're going to see, wow, Clay, you're lined up really far left. That seems like a kind of extreme. Well, if I hit this shot exactly like I want to, I'm going to be in the left rough here. And I'm going to assume this ball is going to turn over into the middle of the fairway. And even if it doesn't, and I hit it into the left rough, the good thing there is I know that I'm not going to get in the water. And worst case scenario, I just lay up on my next shot and I hit my third shot in on this par 5, which would be completely fine. So here, I'm going to aim left and I'm going to fade it back toward the middle of the fairway. I lost sight of the ball. I felt like I faded it back toward the fairway like I was trying to do. We'll have to see on the flight scope what that shows there. But that's the strategy. So number one, think about your game. Which clubs do you hit best? How far can you carry the ball? Number two, given what you're good at and how far you can hit the ball, I want to start the ball away from trouble and then curve it back into the middle of the fairway or the middle of the green. Let's pretend like now, don't even worry about the hole that's behind me. Let's say that we're playing a shot into the green. So the green is here, the pin is all the way what would be on the left side of the green, and there's water on the left side. We can take that same type of strategy there. I'm going to start it toward the right side of the green, and I'm going to fade it to the middle of the green. So even if I hit a perfect shot, it's not going to end up where the pin is. It's going to end up toward the middle of the green. The more greens you can hit, the easier the game is, the more fun you're going to have. You're going to have some that overdraw and end up being right beside this pin. You're going to have some that don't draw very much at all and end up way on the right side of the green, but you're still probably putting. That's the good news there. So always play away from the trouble and then fade it back to the middle of the fairway or the middle of the green. Take the big miss out. So here, that's the water. In other cases, it may be the other side. But I need to be able to kind of shape it both ways to make this happen. Doesn't mean that you're going to actually hit it both ways. You're not always going to hit the draw when you're trying, but you're going to give yourself the most margin for error if you attempt to play the right kind of shot, even if you mess up. Now, the second question is, what if I go out that day and I'm really struggling? I can't hit my draw. I'm hitting a fade every single time. I'm not feeling that great over it. I just can't seem to draw it that day. Well, and if that's the case, that's my second tip on strategy, which is try to play the shot that's coming the best for you that day. Every single day, is going to be a little bit different. Some days you're going to have a hard time drawing it. Some days you're going to have a hard time doing anything but drawing it. You're going to draw every single one of them. It's going to be a little different every day. Play the natural shot shape that's coming the best to you that day when there's a variety of shots that can be played on that hole. So if it's a pretty open hole, there's not much trouble on the right or the left, or maybe there's trouble on both sides. There's not one side that's way worse. Play a fade or a draw, doesn't really matter. If you're hitting into a green and the pin is somewhere around the middle of the green, play a fade or a draw. It really doesn't matter there. When we're really trying to make sure that we play the right type of shape is when there's a clear penalty on one side of the course. Here, there is a very clear penalty. The right side is completely in water. I don't want to go right, I'm going to play left. If it was flipped around and there's out of bounds to the left and the right was wide open, maybe there's some rougher trees but nothing bad, I'm going to play to the safer side. I'm going to avoid that out of bounds left and hit more toward the trees and the rough that's on the right, because that's not going to be a double or triple bogey if I just barely miss the fairway a little bit. So that's what I would say. If in doubt, just play the shot that's coming natural to you. Now, the third piece of this is I got to be able to play both types of shots. If I can't play a fade and a draw, maybe I only have one type of shot shape, kind of dead in the water. You're not really going to have very many options, and some holes are just going to be really daggone hard for you to even make a chance at having a par because this hole isn't laid out. So maybe I play a fade and the hole is a big dog leg to the left and a lot of trouble on the right side. I'm really going to struggle unless I can play a draw there. So you want to make sure that you can hit it both ways. I'm going to play a preview of a video here in a second. All you need to do is just click that video on the screen. You'll be able to watch that, and I'm going to go over exactly how I would recommend playing the draw and the fade. So to recap here, number one, know your own game. Trust your game. Don't listen to somebody else. Play to your strengths and play away from the trouble. Number two, if you have a shot shape that's happening that day, play that shot shape the majority of the time. You're gonna do that as many times as you can. It's only on the really extreme holes where it's clear cut that you may want to try the other one. And then third, I gotta be able to hit it both ways. That's what I'm gonna go over in this next video. Let's go and get started.